And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Picksburgh. My name is Anthony, and with me is my homie, Every Day I'm Hustling, aka Nate Dizzy. What up? I want to say what's up to the man, Paul Gate City Picker, in the chat. It's always great to see you, my friend. He is 1/3 of our auction trio. And speaking of the auction, guys, make sure you come out tomorrow on Nate's channel at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, because we're having a live sports card auction, and there's going to be tons of great stuff. I know myself and Nate and Paul even went to a sports card show today, and I actually went yesterday and today. So I have actually a good bit of new stuff I'm going to be going through and hopefully be bringing to you guys tomorrow afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern. So definitely make sure you guys go and check out Nate's channel if you haven't already, because there's going to be awesome stuff over there as well.
You know it?
Yeah. So Nate, do you want to share what you got today? Like that, I feel like that's the most exciting thing in my life, and it didn't even happen to me. I was just there for it.
So we've been going to LCSs and different things, and Anthony was trying to trade up and get a couple cards, and I was telling him, I was like, I really wanted to find just a regular person to deal with, because usually vendors want more money than average. So luck, I don't know if it's luck or.
I guess even before you get into that, like, tell them like the kind of deals that you've seen them trying to give me, like, and then like the one you stumbled into.
So Anthony has a 8.5 LeBron 221 Topps rookie card. It's the one where he's like holding his jersey or whatever. So he wanted to upgrade from 8.5 to 9. So he's like, hey, what do you want for the upgrade? I'll give you my old one plus something for the new one. Here, they wanted his LeBron 8.5, which is the same card, just a hair more of a better grade. And they wanted a Luka rookie, which was a 9 base rookie, a KD, and what was the other thing? They wanted something else too? And a Kobe. Just for a little bit of a bump in of grade. So, yeah, I was saying, like, I wanted to get customers, trade with other people like myself, not vendors. Yeah. And somehow I found a vendor who gave me like the most awesome deal that I probably ever had or ever thought I would ever get from a vendor. So I had the Topps Finest Michael Jordan in a 9, which has been selling for about a 150. I had a Patrick Mahomes second-year Prism in a 9, and one other Jordan, which I just recently got in the mail like 2 days ago. It was 1 second, I'll tell you. It was a 1996 Flair Michael Jordan Hardwood Leaders in a 9. So I gave him those 3 cards for, wait for it.
This is disgusting, guys.
James Harden rookie, which is not going to be a 10. It'll probably be a 9. And not just 1, 2 rookies of him.
Nate's trading with the guy, and like, I kid you not, I'm like, yeah, I have a box of slabs too. I'd like to make a trade with you whenever you guys finish up your deal. And like, after Nate was done trading, I was like, okay, I'm good. It's like, I'm not even going to try to trade with him now. Nate just cleaned out his table.
And then I was like, I'll give you those 3 cards for the 2 Hardens. He says, deal. And then I'm like, he had 3 other Jordans. One was a Wizards Jordan in a 9, and then 2 other Jordans. They're probably like $30, $40 cards max, probably something like that right now. And he traded me a Cyber Metal Kobe rookie, which is probably a 10. Yeah, I mean, I just looked over with the magnifying glass and stuff, and that thing is crispy. So I traded those 3 cards for that, and a 8 in PSA is selling for $200. So I seen a 10 from SGC go for $941 recently. So I don't know which side of the deal was better, the first part or the second part, but overall combined, It was an amazing type of deal, man. And then I went to the casino and hit for $212 real quick right before we came live. So
this dude's just making money everywhere he goes today. So
I don't even know what to say at this point. This is like one of those days where you're just like, I'm pulling on my beard to make sure like I'm awake. And
this might be the day you guys want to go over to Everyday I'm Hustling's YouTube channel and rub that subscribe button for good luck.
Yeah, right.
Because this dude like has a horseshoe. I'm telling you, these same vendors. Like I was trying to trade a guy yesterday for a LeBron James Chalk Talk card, and he wanted and it's ungraded, and it probably be about a 9. You know what I mean? Like it's definitely not a 10. He wanted a Luka rookie, a KD rookie, and a Giannis rookie for it. And it's like, man, like I don't think I would trade any one of those cards for it. Like I love the Chalk Talk LeBron, but like A, it was raw, you know what I mean? And B, it's not his rookie, you know? So
Paul said they don't
yeah,
come
that's
every
true.
day for nothing. You know
That's true. He was hustling, man. He just rolled up. What up, Tommy? Good to see you, man. Bargain effect in the house.
What up, Tommy? Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. It was just I'm just super pumped. Like literally the only thing I'm thinking to myself, like, is somehow these not real because that was too good of a deal. Are these reprints?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they look good.
For those of you guys that don't know, you might not have seen it on the channel because I have them like hidden as like members only videos. But Tommy, the Bargain Effect, had me on his channel for a YouTube version of The Masked Singer. So if you guys want to check that out, it's pretty cool. Paul's asking how was sealed product prices. Some of the guys were very fair, I thought. Some of them were outrageous as well. So like I saw some decent prices on Hoops Premium that was below eBay there.
I really wasn't looking at too much sealed product, but everywhere you go, they're going to be up and down for the most part. I saw a LCS that had, what was it, Panini Contenders football for like 40 or something, which wasn't too bad. Then you go to another one and it was 70. So
yeah,
I think it was a blaster or something.
I think they were selling 2 hangers or 2 blasters for $60, something like that. I believe, which like I thought was pretty fair since like on eBay you can probably get like close to that for one.
Yeah, Paul said the average price for hoops was like $1.20. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, I wasn't. I was more or less just wanting to go there, trade, see what I can finesse or upgrade. You know what I mean? I watch a lot of different people, and I see other guys kind of doing some of this similar stuff, like trading super modern, like hype players or whatever, for a little more, vintage or older guys still playing, like the Harden stuff I got. So it's kind of something I was like aiming for. You know, that's kind of was my goal last time I went to the LCS, hoping to trade with somebody non-vendor or their company or whatever. But with COVID and everything, a lot of people are just staying home, hitting eBay or whatever. So
yeah. Hey, what's up, Zandy? Good to see you. Thanks so much for being here.
What up?
Paul says that the average price was $120 for a blaster. That's crazy. That's nuts. Yeah, they were really fair with it. I think the guy that runs it's like super old school like card community. Like when I first met him, like honestly he almost threw me out of the show because like I was walking around like oblivious to life, just like filming cards, like, oh, it's a Magic Johnson rookie, like, oh, it's a Kobe rookie, you know what I mean? Like I was getting all fired up, like filming, and he came up like, dude, what are you doing? Blah blah blah. And and I just kind of explained like, hey, I don't want any trouble. I just think these cards are awesome and wanted footage for my YouTube channel. So, so he was cool after that. And me and Nate actually talked about potentially buying some spaces the next time he runs one of those vendor shows, because the crazy thing was, as far as like the very modern stuff, me and Nate probably have more heat in our book bags than like all of the other vendors put together. Now, as far as like vintage stuff, like there was like a guy that had like a whole table of like TO6 like cards that like even like the crappiest player in the set, like those cards are worth like over $100. You know what I mean? Like true vintage, like crazy awesome stuff. But yeah, I mean it's crazy the kind of stuff that was there, and like just seeing. Cool. Yeah. That's awesome, Sandy. You're also from Pittsburgh. Which part of the town are you from? I live in the New Kensington area, and Nate lives over in Monessen. So he's a local guy too. Sure. you could ask us any question. That goes for anybody in chat. If you have any questions about cards or just anything, feel free to fire. Yeah,
I think it's awesome. Good.
I was gonna say I was a little bit surprised, like the show wasn't a little bit bigger, since like we haven't had a show since before COVID. So I thought maybe there'd be all of these people like pent up, like I need to go to a show, and then it just like wasn't that big. Like today was probably 5 times bigger than yesterday. Like there's the same amount of vendors, but like as far as people, you know what I mean? There was probably 5 times as many people there today, and it was still reasonably small.
Sandy says she has good friends in Menneson, and she's
Awesome.
downtown.
Downtown in Yinzers. I love Yinzers.
Paul said he watched the lady drop 3,000 for 8 Hank Aaron cards. Awesome. Yeah, man. Hank Aaron stuff's gonna go probably through the roof now that he passed and everything, and with the trends of vintage stuff and everything, I'm not surprised, to be honest.
Oh, that's awesome. She used to work at Ali Kiski Hospital.
I can't remember what hospital my sister works at. She works on a hospital too for nuclear medicine. So she does like stress tests and like cancer type stuff. So I can't remember. I don't think she works at Kiski. I think she's down towards Washington somewhere, I think.
Oh, cool. She lives by Mercy. I know right what that is.
But yeah, with the trends of like Hank Aaron and LeBron and everybody, the guy that I traded with, I traded a lot of the Jordan stuff for like the stuff I was telling you about, the Hardens and everything. He said basically like, he could fill up a case and probably sell out at every show that he has because people are always looking for him and everything. And same thing with eBay. Like you told him, like Michael Jordan's one of the top people that are watching or searched for Michael Jordan. So I mean, he was probably had so little in those cards, but wanted to have something liquid and make easy money, and cards can go up because, I mean, look at all the stuff that's going on with LeBron and Michael and Kobe right now. It's crazy.
That's probably why he didn't put them back out. He probably was going to put them on eBay.
Maybe. Or have them for the next show or whatever and see what the prices are or whatever. Because he was going by Beckett pricing, which I don't know if that hurt him or helped him or what, but those prices and the eBay prices are just totally different.
So Sandy has a good question. She says, where do I go to get basketball cards graded? So there's a lot of different companies. The best one is PSA by far. Like you get the most money back for your cards when you sell them, when they're PSA graded. And then there's also Beckett and there's SGC, which those are kind of like the second best companies to go to. And then there's a lower tier one that I use, like if I want to get cards back fast and flip them quick, called GMA. It's a lower tier one. It's cheaper, but it doesn't get the same kind of money like, say, that PSA slab like Nate has there would. But then again, you'd get it back in a couple of weeks as opposed to like close to a year at this point with PSA.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to hear something back from my first submission that I got in, because I mean that was my most.
What up, man? Good to see you. Yeah, but Nate does PSA submissions at a really cheap, affordable price. So that goes for anybody that would be watching this. If anyone's interested, I just gave him more cards for PSA today too. And then I do on my channel, I do GMA submissions. My next GMA order is going out on the 8th, which is the day after the Super Bowl. So anyone that wants in GMA submissions, those are just $9 a card. And that'll be shipping on the 8th, which is the day right after the Super Bowl. So anybody can get me cards before then. I can get them in the next order. And the last one I sent, it only took them 7 days to get back to me. So I was really happy with it. And the crazy thing was I sold one LaMelo Ball card that I got back graded, and it put me like $30 in a profit on the entire order I sent in. It was awesome.
Third piece, check out what I grabbed today. A little Harden.
Dude, the beard was finessing for the beard. It was probably because the beard. They probably thought like Harden was your spirit animal. Oh, that's awesome, Sandy. So she has a packet of cards, and one has a Michael Jordan that's supposedly worth about $800 in it. Yeah, that would definitely be something that you would want to. Since it's a Jordan and it's still in a pack, I would suggest for that going to PSA to get top dollar. And Nate could definitely hook you up super cheap and affordable to get that graded for you and back.
Yeah, the one thing that you got to look at whenever you're sending cards to me or anybody or whatever, like if a card is more than say it, like you look on eBay, you see them sell for say a PSA 10 for say 1,000 or more than 500, and I really feel that card will be a PSA 10 because it's just immaculate condition or whatever. So usually cards like that, they have to be sent express because it just so much, the value of the card so much because they have to upcharge you because of insurance purposes and things like that. So depending on what the condition of that card is coming out of the pack, because even though it's still in the pack, it could still have some issues or whatever from the company just making it to wear and tear on the pack itself in the pack. So if it's going to be that super good grade that you think it is, I would have to send that express probably, unless the comps are a little bit cheaper.
So Spider Zax has a good question. He said, I wanted to know how you know a card you find isn't a reprint. So the best thing to do, and this is a 90 hoops card of Michael Jordan. The brand new hoop set's going to have these cards reprinted again. So it's a good example for this purpose. But on the back of the card down at the bottom, it'll have the exact date that the card was printed. So what I did, and this is something me and Nate did right after he did the trade, was we went and checked that better not have been reprints. Yeah, you would just check at the bottom of the card. It'll always have a date and set information down at the bottom. So you just double check to make sure it's the actual, whatever year the rookie card would be. So that's an easy one to get confused on, especially with some cards that, aren't, super, well known as a reprint. Like obviously a lot of people know Jordan has a reprint with his card, but as far as like say a James Harden like Nate has, like that's probably one that is a lot less known. Let's say what's up to my man Grunt Dad. I appreciate you being here. He does an awesome channel.
Sometimes they'll have cards too that will have like different borders. Like I've seen, I think it was a Kobe paper from his rookie year from Topps 96. I think it was like a gold border. Mm-hmm. So it'll be usually you'll notice some stuff on it that just doesn't match it up for, like the year, or like sometimes it will have like a different variant to what the original was.
I know Jordan's has like a little thing like stamped on it, says decade of like excellence or something like that. So you can sometimes tell because of that. But for the most part, some of these reprints are pretty identical to the original. So you really got to be careful at looking at dates and stuff like that. Jeff said he's debating on sending in a Steph Curry Topps paper. I definitely would. That I almost had a PSA 9 for $420, but some guy canceled the order on me. I was so bummed. I got it at like 2:30 in the morning on an expiring auction. But yeah, I would definitely send that in, man. He says he's never done a submission, so just not sure how to do it. Best thing to do, like on something like that, since it's a big card, I would probably send that in express, because they're going to end up charging you probably what is it, 40 or 50 bucks anyway, Nate?
Yeah, it's
above a certain
50. Yeah, 50 is what's the first tier of like the express or whatever.
So since the way PSA does it is anything over a certain dollar amount, rather than charging you like the value price, even if you say you send it with the value stuff, they're still going to upgrade you to like the $50 price point because of like the card being worth X amount of money. So with that being said, you're better off just sending it like the express and getting it back a lot faster. and it's like pretty much the same price. Like the only way it wouldn't like make sense to do that is if, say, you were sending in stuff that's like not super, super valuable, like just a regular like insert of Lamar Jackson, right? Once you send that in, it's not going to go over like $500. So you'd be safe sending that in at like the low base price. But something like a Steph Curry that you know is definitely going to probably shoot over $1,000 once it's graded, I would definitely send that in express. And, you know, if you're worried about any of that, I know Nate does PSA subs like I think twice a month. So BJ, what's up, my man? Thank you so much for joining the membership. Really appreciate that, man. Super awesome of you.
What up, BJ?
I appreciate you being here and hanging out with us as well. That means you're going to have access to those embarrassing Masked Singer performances that I did on Tommy's channel.
I threw in our Facebook group. That's the best place to get a hold of us, talk to us. If you have cards to buy and sell, join in our submissions. If you have other questions, that's the place to be. So just click on there and fill out a little questionnaire thing that we have, and then we'll get you right in there. No problemo.
And Sandy, anytime, just reach out to us. Nate works a full-time job, so he's a little less flexible than me. I'm blessed enough to be able to sell stuff from eBay out of my house. So, you know, I'm super flexible, but yeah, I would, you know, anytime that you'd want to talk about stuff. A lot of times me and Nate will even look over stuff sometimes through this StreamYard that we're on right now, you know, for people that aren't able to, you know, meet up or whatever too. Sounds good, Tommy. I will be there, man. Like I said, anytime that you need a co-host or you want me to come on, just let me know. Be happy to come back on.
What's up, Frank?
Dude, so how about when I went to the Cavs game last week, I missed Johnny. Cajun Roots getting voted off.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one either because I was watching the game because I knew you were at it. I was trying to see if I'd see you on the you know, on the TV or whatever.
Yeah. Dude, I saw the thumbnail and I was like, what? Let him have it. I love that intro.
What's up, Simeon? Good to see you.
Hey, Simeon. Good to see you, man. Simeon won the Joe Burrow GMA 10 from the giveaway that we did on the reveal video. So hopefully you enjoy that, man, and I hope that Burrow has a Hall of Fame career and that sucker just goes crazy for you, man. Got Frank in the house. What's up, man? Good to see you.
It was just so awesome going to, you know, the LCSs last week and then going to the card show this week. I was in my glory, you know, especially today.
Yeah,
it was good day, man.
Dude, the crazy thing is, like, literally, I could have just sat there all day and just kept going through cards.
Honestly, like if the mall hours were longer, I probably would have set up on that area where we like, you know, where you hand me the couple cards that you got from that you wanted to send in or whatever. I would have just set up there and be like, and go inside the little cubicle thing and just pretending like I was a vendor.
Yeah, I'm really glad Gary sent you over to Sandy. Gary's an awesome guy. I'm hoping to get to meet him in March. Me and my wife for Christmas bought my mom. It's on her bucket list. She wanted to go to Vegas, like see the shows and the strip and stuff like that. So we got like a vacation plan to go to Vegas, but like California is only like a 4-hour trip. So, you know, if all goes to plan, we hope to be able to meet Gary in March. But yeah, very happy to meet you too.
Trippies thinks that he still thinks I'm one of the singers. Definitely a lot of talent on that show, that's for sure.
Yep. Absolutely.
That show probably would be the only one I'd probably sing on, though.
Dude, I was surprised I made it past the first week, but like some people like actually liked my performances, I guess. I need to see Thrift Beast on there because I remember back in the day he did an interview on Victoria's channel, and my man was breaking out some of that Justin Bieber. He had that yummy, 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 yummy. Come on, you don't think I know OG Thrift Beast? You know, pre 500 sub Thrift Beast.
Jeff wants to know if we have any golf or tennis cards in the auction tomorrow.
You know what? Dave just picked up a bunch of Tiger Woods today too. I don't have any. Paul, do you have any? Do you have any? Because you have that whole bunch of stuff that you got from the Hales and everything.
I don't think I've seen any golf or.
You know what though? Like I have an entire, you know, those big like black plastic shelves I have in my basement. I have like 2 of those filled with like shoe boxes and stuff I still haven't gone through. So I might actually have some of that stuff, and I just don't know it yet. But I've been trying to make it a plan to go through like 2 or 3 of those a week to try to bring new stuff to the auction every time.
Granddad says he missed going to card shows. He's from Dallas, so I've been going to the Dallas card show when it was only 10 tables, mostly packed with junk wax boxes. Yeah, I can't wait till we can have some bigger ones around here. I'm sure a lot of people are kind of like in the middle of like thinking about doing it or putting one together or whatever around here, like at one of our convention centers or something. But because of COVID, probably waiting to do that or whatever. But even though it was a little bit smaller than I would hope for today, it still was pretty decent. You know what I mean? Like just having what they had, you know.
Nice. You bought a Serena Williams Sports Illustrated rookie, 1 of 21 for $400, and sold it yesterday for $1,000. That is awesome, man. And you know what's crazy? I was actually right before going live. I was going through putting some stuff together because we're doing the GMA order next week. And I was like, man, I have all of these like rookie cards from like wrestling, like first NXTs and like all that stuff from like when I was trying to get the Kiss card. And like, obviously I never got it. So like I was ripping tons of like wrestling stuff, you know what I mean? And I got like all like the divas and, you know, like some decent like rookies that I'm thinking about sending in to get graded.
I found 1 pack of cards at my local Walmart, and it was wrestling. And I said Pittsburgh, and he didn't answer back in time. And I just bought it.
Yeah.
Pulled an auto. So I mean, I guess.
Dude, you know what's crazy? Out of all of those packs, I didn't pull 1 auto, and I only got 1 relic, and it was like a matte relic of Dolph Ziggler. That was worth like $5. But I did get like I think I have 2 Ronda Rousey rookie cards. I think getting those graded might be worth it. You know, just because she's like big in pop culture and stuff like that.
You know what? I just thought about this. I have a box of cards.
Simeon, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that.
Thanks, Simeon. Appreciate you, man. I have a box of wrestling cards from like the 80s. I should probably go look at those now that yeah, Samoa Joe. Yep, that's who it is.
Yep. Yeah, that's a bolo airtime. Speaking of which, airtime, congratulations on the Hall of Fame nomination. I don't know if you saw yet, but Deafness dropped the video earlier this evening, and he nominated you for the Hobby Hall of Fame. So congratulations, man. That's pretty awesome. What's up? Rolling 2 slots. I love that name. That's really cool. He says, hey guys, I have searched high and low. I have a COA Kevin Garnett signed McDonald rookie game ball. That's awesome. How do I value? The easiest thing for that, in my opinion, would probably be Worth Point. I don't know if you know any people that sell on eBay, but there's this program called Worth Point for like really rare stuff. I don't have a access to it. Like I don't use Worth Point because I don't come across too many super rare items like that. But there's a program called Worth Point where you can actually go and look up just about anything that's ever sold, and like say the last one of those balls sold like 10 years ago, you can actually go and find that sold listing and see exactly how much it was. So for stuff like that, that's like really rare that you can't even find stuff on eBay, I normally suggest Worth Point, and normally I just reach out to like, you know, a buddy of mine that's does eBay too and say, hey, do you have a Worth Point account? Can you look this up for me? But eBay also has something called TerraPeak now, which lets you go back a full calendar year. So I can check for you on TerraPeak. Do you want to check just keep an eye on the chat, Nate, and I'll see if I can find anything on TerraPeak for him?
I got you.
Cool.
Yep, I threw my link in the chat. That's for the for my channel, and we'll have the auction tomorrow. No problem.
Yeah, guys, if you're not subscribed to Nate, definitely check him out. Me and him do collabs all the time, especially on the weekends. Normally, since I'm hosting today for the live Q&A, he'll host the auction, and then next week it'll reverse. He'll host the live Q&A, and then I'll host the auction.
Ron Slots, that auto, just because it's on a McDonald's, let me see that again. McDonald's game ball, it might be worth more just because it was signed his rookie year like that.
And that McDonald's is something that only like the top high school talent are invited to. So like that, and that was a big year. Like that's a game that probably Kobe Bryant would have been in, and Allen Iverson. Like, well, no, because Allen Iverson came out of college, but Kobe probably would have been there. He came right out of high school as well. So like that ball you have like touched Kobe Bryant's hands too, most likely, especially if it was like a game used ball.
Right. Yeah, I would say that's almost like one of those items that you put up around like the All-Star game, or maybe the first round of the playoffs or something like that, whenever the Brooklyn goes or whatever, and you just throw it up an auction, just put up a little bit, where you're happy, but it's probably gonna get some bids. Sometimes people put up stuff way too high and then it just never gets any love on the like eBay auctions and stuff like that. But that would be maybe something that I would put up at auction and just try and pinpoint a good time in a game or something like that.
Do a reserve too, so you don't, end up hurting yourself on it.
So Third Piece has a question. He says, which basketball rookie are you looking forward to picking up the most for this year?
I got two of them, and like I don't think either of them are going to be a surprise, but Isaac Okoro, number one, because of the Cavs, obviously, but he really does have baby Kawhi like potential. So like I'm high on him from an investment standpoint too, and also LaMelo Ball, just because I've been following him since he was like 15, and I like him.
Yeah, probably for me, like this draft class has been a little bit different than say last year's, for example. You have Anthony Edwards coming off the bench now. Wiseman's coming off the bench. I mean, they're getting a decent amount of playing time, but they're not starting. And then you have guys like, like LaMelo, who should be probably starting, or finally is starting now. Mm-hmm. So for me right now, I'm going to probably this year more than most. I'll probably play a little more safe, probably go more LaMelo than anything. Maybe pick up Obi Toppin. He was another guy coming out that I kind of liked. So maybe take a little bit of a chance on a couple of his rookies or whatever early on, and hope that New York can add him to the puzzle and they can be a little bit better.
All right, so these are just regular balls from Kevin Garnett signed with COA. What you have is more rare because it's from, technically a high school all-star game. You know what I mean? Right. So I would say what you have is probably, you could see, I mean, even this one right here, it has a couple different people on it, but he took a best offer, probably got about $300 if I had to guess. But you definitely be clear like anywhere in the 200 to 300 range, most likely. But like I said, yours is more rare. So you might want to just set it on like some kind of an auction. Like if it was me, I'd probably list it like $249.99 7-day auction. Like they start at like the lowest price and work their way up. Then if it doesn't end, just lower it and do the same thing.
I would think that ball, just because like what he was saying, like it was used in the game, it was in, before he really made it super huge. Like he was hyped up coming out of high school. Yeah, no, he played at Texas for a year. I'm not Texas. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Durant. Garnett went straight from high school to the pros, and like I would think that it would be double or even more just because of when that was signed and everything.
So Nate, one of the most popular questions has been asked of you. What is attached to your wall there? Is it molding, an angle? How did you get your slabs up like that?
Honestly, it's just a green screen. It's just a green screen. I do have a lot of slabs, but yeah, that's just a green screen behind me. The good old green screen.
Wouldn't it be great if you like actually had that many slabs?
If PSA, hits the gas a little bit, it actually might happen here shortly.
Wouldn't that be crazy, dude? Like imagine like how many slabs like a year from now both of us are gonna have. Like once like these orders start to move through.
Oh yeah. I mean, all the cards right now I probably have total in the PSA from everyone submitting stuff, not just mine. Probably at least easy 500-600 cards, easy.
Did you get autographs, Paul, when you met those guys? I'm pretty sure Nikita Koloff is a pastor now, if I'm not mistaken.
What's up, Egg? Good to see you.
What up, man? Good to see you, Egg.
Jeff wants to know, have you guys invested in Wiseman yet? I'm waiting until Prism comes out. I'm really picky on what cards I get from what sets. Like I don't buy a lot of Chronicles or in different things like that. So I basically stick to Select, Optic, and Prism for the most part. Like I'll grab some Mosaic of some different guys and stuff just because the value just, hasn't spiked on certain cards. If I missed on a guy and his Prism goes crazy, so I'll grab the other cards while I missed on those and go for the secondary markets.
Yep, and Paul's actually having his very first live stream, guys, next Saturday at 4 p.m. So definitely make sure you guys come out for that. It's going to be awesome. Me and Nate are going to both be there with him. It's going to be pretty epic. And you guys are going to actually get to see us live traveling most likely for our live Q&A next week because me and Nate got some tickets to go see Giannis lose to my Cavaliers. Notice I took that big L out there for Giannis. You remember all that mess you talked when the Nets came to town, right?
Yeah.
And then Kevin Durant was like, man, I can't even face them a second time. Colin Sexton put me in my place.
What was so funny of that day was when I bet, and sent you guys my bets for the day, just kind of just show you what I was doing or whatever. I didn't realize I was picking against the Cavs until you said something about it. And then I was like, oh, here we go. He's going to put the as my grandma would say, the maluk on me and basically like screwed. So the Brooklyn was up by like 2 or 3 or something. Then Sexton tied the game. They went to overtime. And then I don't know what happened in overtime, but they got destroyed.
Yeah. Definitely. Jeff wants to know if we've invested into Wiseman yet. I plan on it once he has more pro jersey stuff out. I do have a GMA 10 of his base draft picks, and I have a green variant I either at PSA or at Nate's ready to go to PSA. So I have a couple of his cards, but nothing like super crazy yet. But yeah, he's definitely one of the guys that I'm big on too. I just really like his game, and like Curry and Thompson, even though Thompson's not there this year, they've never had a big like him before. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how they all mesh together, but he couldn't have gone to a better situation than Golden State. I mean, the winning lineage that they've embraced there comes from the culture Steve Nash learned. He played for Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, here's a base of Morant that I have. Like, it still has some value or whatever, but it's probably not going to go up in price that much. You know what I mean? Where, like his colored stuff, it still sells for a pretty decent penny, like in his college. But I mean, the pro jersey stuff is the stuff that you want to mostly get whenever you're collecting, because that's what's going to give you the most value for the most part.
That's awesome. So I don't know if it was you that sent me the snaggletooth picture, or if it was Paul, but there was a Patrick Ewing refractor from like the 90s that sold for like $100 in a slab from snaggletoothgrading.com. And like upon further examination, there's no website that exists for snaggletoothgrading.com. Oh, there it is, Snaggletooth. Like, so what makes you go through eBay listings? So, you know, today I'm going to buy a Patrick Ewing refractor from snaggletoothgrading.com.
What a great reputable company.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely is, Brad. Absolutely. Good to see you too, my friend.
What's up, Brad? Yeah, that's what's crazy. Like the card market, you almost can't buy bad right now. I mean, unless it's somebody who's just not getting playing time and you just bought super early and he just happens to need to be on a different team or whatever. For the most part, like the card market is just off the chain. It just, depending on who you're grabbing, maybe where you might see higher, 4x, 10x type of stuff. But man, like it's just a great place to be at right now in the market.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no GameStop or anything, but or Doogie Coin or whatever it's called.
Yeah. Yeah, Jeff, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a really tough game. I think the last time the Cavs beat the Bucks, it was only because they rested Giannis. So they have a little bit better of a team this year, though. So I'm hoping that'll be kind of a difference maker. But yeah, the Bucks are going to be a tough stop. I'm just excited I get to see Giannis in person. You know what I mean? Last game I went to, when the Bucks were in town, they sat him. So it's like literally I went and it's like, oh, cool. I get to watch Chris Middleton. You know what I mean? Like nothing against Chris Middleton, but you don't pay Bucks prices to go see Chris Middleton.
Right.
Dude, Paul, that would be awesome, man. LBJ dunk on Taco. It'd be like the dude from Heat, or no, he's not with Heat anymore, but Derek Jones Jr. Or was it Gordon who jumped over Taco?
Gordon did it in the dunk competition, and then I think recently somebody dunked on Taco in a game.
Really?
Who was it? I can't remember who it was. It was recently, probably in the last week. I can't remember who it was now, but was it? Oh no, it was Edwards dunked on Wiseman. That's what happened.
Gotcha. So Simeon wants to know who you going for in the Super Bowl.
Chiefs.
Yeah, I'm going for the Chiefs too. I mean, I don't like Tom Brady, so that's part of the reason. But I mean, Patrick Mahomes is just awesome. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't root against Pat Mahomes unless he's playing the Steelers.
Yeah,
maybe the Vikings, just because they've always been like my second favorite team. But yeah, you can't. I can't bet against Patty Mahomes.
Yeah, I think at the beginning of the season, DraftKings Sportsbook did some type of promotion where if you can bet up to X, and they gave you like a special boost for picking a team to win the Super Bowl for the beginning of the season. So I bet $1 on the Chiefs winning, and if I win, I get 56 or something like that.
Nice.
So
that's awesome.
Fucking the 56, I'll take my chances. I just didn't want to bet a huge amount of money. Have them hold it the whole time. What's up, Kathy?
Spider's Axe is asking, have you heard of HGA? If so, what are your opinions? He loves that there's competition. Yeah, I love it too. The first time Nate sent me like a link to their site, I was like, cool, it's a brand new like thing. I'm gonna go submit like 5 cards, see if I like their service or whatever. And I went to like see how much it was, and I saw that their very lowest tier was 35, and I was like, I clicked right off. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to go to a new company that's $35. But then I realized that it was actually a computer grading company. And I was like, oh, well, I guess that makes sense because it's like a brand new technology. So, of course, it would probably be a little bit more expensive. The thing I really like about HGA is that they do customized slabs. So, like, for example, like if it was this Josh Allen with like the blue and everything like that, they'd probably still put blue and make it like aesthetically pleasing. So I do kind of like that they're customizing the slabs kind of to the actual card, which is kind of cool. I know that they have certain slabs too that actually have like players on them and stuff like that I've heard of. Like we'll actually have like a little picture of them on there or something like that, which is kind of cool. So yeah, I think they're cool. I would like to give them a try. I don't know that I'm going to send something in right off the bat at the prices that they're asking, just until I see kind of how their slabs hold up in the market. Because like say they're getting like GMA prices, then you know what I mean? Like it would just be a big loss to send cards into them. But if they can at least pull SGC prices, it might not be bad go at it to send some stuff. You'd still probably get it faster than you would PSA. And probably in BGS or SGC at this point, because they're both really backlogged as well.
My stance on HGA is it's a little too expensive for where they're at right now. I mean, being a new company, just popping up kind of and just trying to do that. And it's a new grading way. Instead of having a person doing it, they're doing like basically a scan of the card, like a computer generated like situation, which I think that's what PSA needs to do to kind of get out of the backlog, like figure out a machine or a way of in a way that the cards will be protected too, so when you take them out the machine doesn't do anything or whatever. And if we're paying $30 some a card, then I need to see higher returns too, you know what I mean, where say PSA your average is like say 4x for example. I need to see 6 to 8 to have that done, because then I would have to basically resubmit all my cards. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of works out, because PSA is kind of the the king of the castle, and unless the market and the world of universe of collecting changes in any way like that, then PSA would have to respond and kind of figure it out. But I like it. I like that they're doing more computer generated than you send in a card and someone looks at it and go, oh, it's a 9, but then you crack and you send it back in, you get a 10. Like that just blows my mind, because a lot of that is happening. So yeah, man, I'm hopeful for them to maybe help. Or maybe, you never know, PSA might buy them out and take that way of grading and start doing that now. You know what I mean? So you never know what's going to happen, but it would have to be a substantial type of X more than PSA for me to possibly start going that direction.
Yeah. So Brad said, did I get any of the packs that Lonnie was selling? No, I didn't, man. I did see like all the stuff that he got from his guy though. That was a pretty nice score that he got, and he sold through that stuff super fast. I figured he probably would on most of it, but yeah, that was a pretty awesome pickup he had there. The stuff that I mainly try to get like sealed stuff is mainly basketball, just because like I'm really big into collecting basketball more so than the other sports. I like football too, but I only let myself collect Steelers because I'm like offended that like all of these awesome players aren't worth anything, so I don't know. It's just my little hissy fit towards the sport. I still buy and sell like a lot of like the higher end stuff, but as far as like my personal collection, I only let myself keep Steelers.
Yeah,
unless I came across like a Pat Mahomes rookie or something like crazy like that, I would keep that. But like I'm trying to limit like the money I'm putting out on cards, because basketball's killing me right now.
Hopefully I don't kick myself in the behind for trading that Mahomes second year.
Yeah, big shout out to my man Michael. Good to see you, man.
What up?
He said 502 Frank sent in 5 cards. He had to pay $24 in shipping on top of the 34 or 35 per card. Yeah, I know most of the companies will charge you like quite a bit for shipping, just because of like once the card's graded, they have to insure it for like whatever it's now worth. So a lot of times, they insure it for a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
Because a lot of times when you're filling out the information for your submission, like they want to know like how much your cards, like how much you value them at raw, and then they'll reevaluate them graded for price increases and stuff like that. Yeah, Josh Allen, man, he is definitely a man among boys. Like I've been so impressed with him this season, and I got to give kudos to Nate. Nate was up on Josh Allen like before anyone that's not a Buffalo fan was up on Josh Allen. You know what I mean? Like Nate was scooping his stuff up when it was still like dirt cheap. So I got to give him props on that. I have a lot of Josh Allen at PSA and SGC right now. I'm getting ready to. This one's going to GMA to score.
Yeah, I bought his select rookie for I think $40 at PSA 9, and now it's $250 or something. I can't remember what I said it was, but it literally 4 or 5x since I've had it, just because of the season he had, and I'm happy that his cards are doing that, because like I was telling Pittsburgh before the show started, I think he may be one of the young gunslingers taking over the NFL now, like him.
Yeah.
And the other guys that are in the league now, he can be,
Oh, yeah.
Third or fourth, fifth of the best young guns to be in the league right now.
Yeah, dude. If I had one football player to collect right now, it would be Pat Mahomes. He's just like he's awesome. He's my favorite non-Steeler player. I want to say what's up to Mike Flippin Goodies. Good to see you, man.
What up?
Big shout out to my man Aaron Proctor. Good to see you, man. Actually got to meet Aaron one day. He drove all the way out to pick up stuff that he got in an auction. He says, do you guys do baseball cards? Yeah, we both do some baseball cards, not to like the extent that we do like football and basketball, just because our knowledge with like the newer baseball players isn't like super extensive. But when we do our auctions on Sundays, Paul, Gate City Picker, always has a ton of baseball stuff, like and all like really good players and stuff like that. So yeah, we do some baseball, but if you have like any questions in regard to baseball, even if we don't know it, I'm sure like Paul or someone in the chat definitely does. That's the awesome thing about the community is like I've learned, more about cards in the last 6 months just watching YouTube videos and hanging out with people in chats. It's crazy.
Yeah, baseball is something like I was telling Pittsburgh at the show. It's probably the vintage stuff is probably more or less stuff I'm probably going to go after, because they're guys that already put their work in, just kind of like the Kobe's and the Michaels of the world. So that's kind of stuff I want to start trying to pick up as time goes on.
Definitely. That's kind of like where I'm going to, because like the more I just think of it, you know what I mean? Like, and Gary V just said this the other day in one of his shows. I don't know if it was, he did a sports card thing. I think it might've been where he was like overrated, underrated type thing. And he was kind of talking about like the market, like where it's going in like 5 years or whatnot. And he said something to the effect of like, do you really want to be the guy holding the bag with, player X, Y, and Z like 5 years from now? You know what I mean? Like, just like we were kind of talking about like today with Embiid, like where we don't kind of think he's at that point where like to sell him yet, because his, he still has a lot of value with, Doc Rivers in town and everything like that. He's, making an MVP case for himself. Shout out to Mama. Good to see you. She's the hippest, the flippitest Mama. Always wonderful to see you. She's the Mama of YouTube.
Yeah, I think like with Embiid, like if they can go deep in the playoffs or go to the finals or possibly even win the finals, we're only seeing the beginning of what his prices could reach.
Yeah, definitely. Thrift Beast is asking, what are your thoughts on NBA Top Shot? I think right now there's money in it. For me, like here's my fear with it. What happens like when that technology is not popular? You know what I mean? Is it going to hold the value it has right now? Because like for me, like the way I look at it is, whenever I download stuff on my phone, normally when I get a new phone, I don't re-download all the same stuff if I don't use it still. You know what I mean? So like a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, like is the hobby going to trend more towards digital stuff? Or, is like stuff like you can hold in hand going to be kind of the standard moving forward. That's kind of like what I would be worried about. I know that there's Top Shot stuff going for like great money right now. So, I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I haven't gotten into Top Shot yet, but that doesn't mean like nobody should, you know what I mean? Like I'm still trying to, learn a little bit more about that stuff. And honestly, I'm not the biggest fan of digital stuff. Like even when it comes to video games, like, even before I collected cards, I collected video games, and, video games are going more and more, into the, digital download your stuff. And I still like to have the actual physical thing, you know what I mean? And I know now you can even resell like some of the digital stuff, but then again, like if it does lose steam, you know what I mean? You might have like, say, a Ja Morant moment on there that, right now is worth $500, but if it isn't popular anymore, you might get $5 for it later on. You know what I mean? Whereas if you had like a Ja Morant Prism 5 years from now, odds are it's probably going to be at least, 4 to 5 times more valuable than it is now, my opinion. So I don't know. I mean, I know that there's money in it because there's tons of guys, that I see videos of, making money on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same with you. With I don't like the digital stuff because I mean, I don't know. It just seems it could be a little more shadier as trades go down too of what you're getting and things of that nature too. So I'm not really 100% fully into that type of stuff, like where I know every little thing that's going on with the market, just because I'm not as interested in it as with cards.
What's up, boy? Good to see you, man.
As time goes, it could be something, but it needs to be more widely around it and kind of embraced by the community more. I would say before I would jump into it. It's a little more risky, I would say, right now. I mean, I see big numbers of some different stuff that's sold whenever I went to their website and stuff like that. So
I would say for Top Shot, for me, if I was doing it, I would do more of like the day trading approach to it right now, since it's so hot. Like I'd be trying to get stuff as cheap as I can and just like flip it right away for whatever profits I could get. Whether or not that's a good strategy, I don't know, because like I said, I haven't really gotten into it yet. But like even like the digital like cards and stuff that you collect and stuff, like I never really even got into that. Like I did with Pokemon, only for the sense that you could play the game online with those cards, which I know that you can with some of the games, you know what I mean, or some of the card games online. But yeah. What's up, Justin? My man Grimes Finds is in the house. Good to see you, bro.
Got Eli Baseball in the house. What up, Grimes? And what up, Eli?
Have you ever done Top Shot, Justin? It's good to see you, though, Justin, man. Always a pleasure.
With cards, like having the physical item, it's I think it's what makes it better than stocks and different things like that. Where with like the Top Shots and stuff, it can almost feel more stock markety in a way because it's a digital thing. It's in the air type thing. It's almost like a make believe in a way. You know what I mean? Like, that's why I don't like it as much. I like having stuff like on display or showing the wife like, hey, I got this for $200, and she gets mad at me, and then I sell it for $800, and she's happy again. So.
Thanks for hanging out, Brad. I appreciate you being here, man.
Hey,
Brad. Fun fact: Brad won my 100 subscriber giveaway. So like he's like a true OG. So I appreciate you, Brad. Dude, Justin, if you ever like have questions or anything, me and Nate are like borderline addicted to it right now. Like we're one step away from grounding it up and sniffing cards. We're that addicted. So you ever have questions or anything like that, just let us know, man. Like it's crazy how much money in it. Like it like basically is able to take like a regular eBay store and make it like almost Amazon, if you have the right stuff.
Yeah, literally like having cards graded basically easily can turn your store into something that just goes insane off the bat. And that's why I like it as much as I do, and like grading cards and Yeah, that's why I like doing the group submissions of getting everybody's stuff and grading it, because I want to look at it. I want to, give my take on it and help everyone get good grades and make sure they're sent off right. Like every time I grade something, I put in a brand new sleeve, brand new card saver, because I want that thing to be as clean and as perfect as possible going to PSA. And it's something I do just to kind of relax in a way too. You know what I mean? Like it's something relaxing to it for me.
Michael, before you leave, man, drop your new channel link. Michael's a good friend of mine. We've been friends in the YouTube content creator community for a while. Him and his son just started a brand new sports card channel. And like I said, it's brand new, but they're putting out pretty nice content. So he's going to drop a link. Definitely go and check him out. Love to see, them start to pick up some momentum over there. I just love, I was talking with a buddy of mine today at the card show. I picked him and his son up on the way, and it's just so cool to kind of see like a father and son like bonding over something like that they were both equally like into, so, and I see that in Michael's videos. So it's pretty cool to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I was telling him like I can't wait till my kids like get a little bit older and like my son right now, he's starting to get into video games. Like that is like all down my alley. So
yep.
It'll be a win-win whenever like PS5s come out and it's like, oh, gotta get Cameron one. And it's like, I need one. But
what's up? This the breaks. Good to see you, man. Glad that you're here. Yeah, Paul just said with the new eBay card shipping price, card sales are going to jump again. Yeah, I agree. I actually need to go through and like update my eBay to reflect that price on some of my lower end ones.
Yeah, I think selling, singles of the lower end stuff is going to get a lot easier because, for example, like you can buy, like I was buying, I'll just say Horton Tucker, just to say Horton Tucker. Say you're buying Horton Tuckers because you believe that he's going to be the next guy to jump out or whatever, and you're buying his cards for $1 or $5 or whatever. But then you think about it, you got to add shipping on top of every one. Now you're paying, like $10 a card, where if you could buy somebody with a quantity, you could get a better deal. But now with the shipping being a lot cheaper and having tracking, it's going to help things a lot better.
Speaking of what Paul just said with the new shipping prices, that's going to literally premiere in 15 hours. That's tomorrow's video, all about eBay's new shipping prices for people that sell cards. Literally, you can ship for under $1 now, guys, which is huge because, like, for people like me who sell on eBay and rely on that for like paying bills, like, if you're not a top-rated seller, you miss out on so many savings with eBay, and you actually like get charged a little bit more on stuff. So when you send stuff out plain white envelope, you're not able to you're not able to do tracking. And when you don't provide tracking, it dings your metrics on eBay. And it took me 2 to 3 years to get my store back in good enough standing to be top rated again, just from selling a lot with plain white envelope. So you're going to, like, just from like a selling perspective, you're going to see so many more sellers like offering lower prices or even free shipping now, you know what I mean, that they wouldn't before, because they're able to just go and print out, a label for under $1. And the cool thing is, I mean, you guys will hear it tomorrow anyway, but sleeved and top loaded, you can send up to 3 in one package, which is kind of cool. Or if you have like no protection at all, you can send up to 15, but I wouldn't advise putting 15 raw cards with no protection in the plain white envelope.
What up, Lobster?
No, Spider's Axe, you don't have to use eBay's envelope. You can use any like plain white envelope. eBay does have some really nice ones that are compatible. If I remember, I'll try to throw it in the link for tomorrow's video if I can find them, because I kind of showed it in the video.
Yeah, having tracking is so important, because especially if you're doing that on all your cards, for example, because say you sell a Zion or something and there's no tracking, that buyer can just say, I never got the card, and then you lose out on the card. eBay's not going to do anything because they don't have any tracking to helped your case and maybe pay out both people to kind of make it even, and they take the loss or whatever. So you take that to the loss all the way on that. So with the tracking, as long as it shows delivered, you're protected, and then they have to figure out if they're keeping it or if they're returning it or whatever that, you know, would go on. But I think it just makes things a lot easier to deal with for the most part.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, just this the break said that the last Bowman Brady sold for $25,100. That's awesome. So I love seeing card prices go up that much. I mean, you know, it sucks that I'm like probably forever priced out of Tom Brady, but I don't know if I could bring myself to PC Tom Brady. Yeah, I don't know.
I have 2 PSA 10s that I have, and
with the new program, the breaks, you'll be able to track the envelope. That's the really awesome part about it. You would print a label just like you would, like say you're printing out, you know, for a bubble mailer. You know, you're printing out one of these. You print it the same way, and then just slap it on the plain white envelope. My man Lobster's in the house. Good to see you. Yeah, there is size parameters too. Yeah, that's a good call, Paul. So he says they got to be less than 6x9.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing the prices go the way they are. I mean, once Kobe, LeBron, and Michael started going nuts, all the GOATs just went to the roof, and it's understandable. I mean, they're the best in the game, especially for the modern game, because they either played recently or they're still playing. And I mean, Tom Brady just went to his 10th Super Bowl. Will we ever see anybody ever have that type of career, especially at quarterback? Who knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, what a career, man. I never, if I was going to take a bet of them just making it to the Super Bowl, I would have said no way they would have made it. I mean, I thought they were going to go to the playoffs for sure, but I just figured that there would have been one, like Seattle was playing lights out beginning of the year. Their offense was so dangerous, and then all of a sudden they kind of just fell apart. So they were one team I was really high on coming out of NFC, and then Green Bay too. So, and I was shocked they lost last week, but Aaron Jones got hurt, and I don't know what it is with Rodgers, but he can't get it done in the championships.
Yeah.
Unless he's playing against Pittsburgh, I guess, huh?
I'm still hurting from that. So thank you for that salt in my wounds. And then not only did he beat the Steelers, but he had the gall to throw a world heavyweight championship belt over his shoulder and flaunt it.
Then he made a commercial out of it with State Farm. How about that?
I know. It's crazy.
Oh, man. This break say, I wish you would have bought it 10 at $3,000 a piece about 4 years ago. I believe this Brady will be up to $50,000 if he wins Super Bowl. Definitely.
Yeah, I could see it. I mean,
you might see his prices hit $50,000 before the Super Bowl, to be honest. I mean, how crazy the card market is and how everything else is going up.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's a whole 8 days or so to the Super Bowl, and that's a lot of time for prices just go through the roof.
Yep. Definitely.
But yeah, with all these guys kind of going up, and like how Pittsburgh was saying, like basically pricing out of like the normal collector who doesn't have thousands upon thousands to invest in or whatever, the only way I could possibly have a chance of getting something like that or LeBron or anything would be having to trade up. And you know, it's hard to do. I mean, especially if you guys heard what we were talking about there right at the beginning, like with Pittsburgh trying to trade his LeBron and stuff like that. Like people just want crazy amounts of stuff for even just a hair better of a card. So it's because they know what possibly a 8.5 to a 9 could bring eventually, I guess, or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, anything LeBron is going to be gold, like in the future. You know what I mean? Like I see that. I see LeBron's rookies being like on par with Jordan's one day. You know what I mean? I just think he's in that conversation.
I was hoping to get that Bowman Chrome 7 the other day just to get one before it got too out of control, but
yeah,
I'll get one eventually. It probably won't be till the off season though. Aaron wants to know how many Super Bowls Patrick Mahomes is going to win. Who knows, man? If he wins this one, I'll give him 2. He could maybe go 4 to 6, but
yeah, I was going to say 4 or 5.
We're Steeler fans, so we really don't want to give him too many. But I could see him doing that, man. As long as he could stay healthy and you know, the key is for football is if you can get your quarterback to a team-friendly deal, which Mahomes got $500 million, which of course is a lot of money, but it's for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And he's locked in, and that's going to really give them a lot of opportunities to make a great team around him. And that's what he bought into and was like, hey, look, we won at my second year, my first full year, I guess, in the league or whatever. I want to win 11 more or whatever. So he signed that 10-year contract for a good deal, and it's team friendly, which is going to really help.
Have a good night, Simeon.
See you, bud.
Man. Yeah, this break says the MJ PSA 5 is like $1,000 now. Yeah, that's a card that I'm like hoping I'm not priced out of, but for the immediate future, I'm priced out of MJ. Like he's going to have to hit a slump for me to get there anytime soon, which I don't see that happening like ever. I think he's pretty much going to be plateaued where he is for a while, and then he's going to keep jumping.
He's the only time I'm going to have a chance to probably get one of his cards is whenever the off season comes around. You know, and basketball's kind of a second thought for the most part. And
yeah,
you know, this year there really wasn't an off season because of how short the off season was because of the end of this, you know, the finals to the beginning of the season. So think of a 4 or 5 month gap in between, you know, the start of the season, what possibly could drop a little bit or whatever. That's the best time to buy stuff. So that's what's going to be my strategy. Hopefully I find an auction and it's in the middle of the night, 3 a.m. and, you know, I bid $500 and I win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. This breaks. He said that KC better get a defense and an offensive line. Yeah, definitely. That's what they need is to just keep building. I mean, they've got the blocks, you know what I mean, to be in the Super Bowl 2 years in a row and be like literally so close the year prior. They've got the building blocks. If they could put together a defense even like similar to what the Steelers had before all those injuries, like there would literally be no stopping that team. It'd be like playing like someone on Madden. It would just be like game over.
Yeah, I hope Fisher's injury, the left tackle for the Chiefs, isn't too bad of a blow because I think he messed up his knee and is out for the rest of the year now. And they said during the game that the coach came over and gave him one of those looks or talks or whatever. Basically, he's out for the year or he tore something. So,
Dang.
I mean, Tampa can have a pretty decent pass rush. So hopefully for my bet and for any Chiefs fans, you know, whoever they got coming in got 2 weeks to prepare, which definitely helps. And they can kind of put that team, you know, protect Mahomes.
Yeah. Yeah, I could really see the Super Bowl going either way. I really could. You know, both teams are awesome. Both quarterbacks are, you know, like big goat and baby goat. So I can't really call Mahomes a goat yet, but I mean, as far as what we have now, like he is the future of the league. I could see the Steelers going either way with Ben. You know what I mean? Like it really, I think it's going to come down to is he willing to come back, you know, with like a team friendly contract, you know what I mean? And take a little bit of, you know, a pay cut to kind of build around him because we're already going to be losing some, you know, pretty key starters, you know, not that I think it's going to make that big of a difference because I'm really big on, you know, the potential in Claypool and, you know, Deontay Johnson, you know, so I like Juju. I'm a fan of his. I'm a fan of Connor. I think we can be just as good without them though, just because of the young talent we have, you know, around them. But I think Dupree is going to be the biggest loss though, man. Like I like Highsmith though, but man, there's something special with that combination, man. Dave's in the house. What up, man? Dave was at the card show with us today.
It was awesome seeing him and his son hanging with us.
Yep.
Yeah, I heard on the radio that they were saying that Ben will probably restructure his contract, or he said he's up to it, which would be a huge push in the right direction to kind of having a chance to redo last year. But they got to definitely come up with a better scheme, better situation overall with their offense and everything. Be a little more balanced and give our defense a little more breather when they're off the field, because sometimes Ben will go back, throw three passes, and the next they're punting a minute later, and now you're putting all that on your defense to basically keep you in games. And we do have a great defense. We lost a couple of people who got hurt, which kind of hurt us in stretches or whatever. But coming back next year, if they can keep Ben, or if he would retire or whatever, I mean, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see what they do, honestly. I don't think Dupree's going to be back. I don't think Juju's going to be back. I don't think Connor's going to be back. But, having some younger guys step in, I think our best chance right now, unless we draft that guy at Alabama, McFarland's probably our best bet for running back for next year. I think he can do a little bit of everything, which is kind of back we need, especially coming out of the backfield and catching. But I just don't feel like they gave him too much opportunity, you know what I mean, to really see what he can do, so.
Yeah, I'm all on board with that, Dave. He says get Deshaun. That would be so awesome. I would instantly become a huge supporter of Deshaun Watson.
Only way we can get Deshaun is if unless Ben would retire, and then we just gave him like our next draft picks for the next 3 years or whatever, or something like that. I don't even know how we could.
I would pull Mike Ditka for Deshaun. I'd be like, here, you have all our draft picks. Here's our entire draft. Just give us Deshaun.
I mean, honestly, if we could pick up a couple of different people in free agency and get that done, I would be a fan of that.
Yeah, I would too.
You know what I mean? We would have our franchise quarterback signed for the next 4 years or whatever.
And you see what he did with Hopkins. Imagine like him and Mapletron.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And I mean, we're able to pull guys and get receivers like left and right. It seems like anymore. So, Johnson will still be there. He'll still be a good slot guy coming out. You got James Washington, I believe, for one more year, I think.
Yep.
So, I mean, you still have those three guys. So I think they're in good shape for the most part. It's just scheme. They got to get their scheme better, on offense.
I agree. So, guys, I'm going to highlight Nate's link here because, like I said, tomorrow we are doing a sports card auction on his channel. All of the prices are going to be below eBay, and there's always really good deals to be found. It'll be me, Nate, and Gate City Picker all doing the auction, so you'll have a variety of stuff from 3 different sellers like we do every week. It's going to be at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also, I just want to remind you guys, we are shipping out the GMA order on the 8th. So if anyone wants to send cards in for grading to GMA, right now it's $9 per card. And that counts like I'll provide the cases, sleeves, like all that stuff. And, look over your cards and make sure you're not sending in anything that's going to like lose you money as far as like sending in something that's not gradable. So I'll look them over real good for you guys. Nate does the same thing for PSA. So anyone's interested in his PSA submissions, just you can reach out to either of us, in our Facebook group or whatnot as well. I have a link to that in the description below as well. And Nate just dropped it here in the link or in the chat. So if you guys want to join that, if you haven't, both of us are in there every day. We're pretty active in there. Dave said he met the guy who came over. The guy from the show came over, paid him $125 for all of his hockey cards that he had no interest in. That's awesome, man. Oh, yeah. Dave said also to mention it's not the same price for PSA, so people know. Yeah, Nate does, depending on what the quarterly specials are, he does often, prices can change with PSA depending on what the averages are. But his prices are super cheap. Just out of curiosity, am I your best customer as far as your grading goes?
Yeah, I would say that you probably sent the most cards, that's for sure. Especially with the last submission you sent.
Yeah.
Actually, you even bought a Bing probably up pretty close, neck and neck, probably.
Yeah.
He sent in a bunch of the last time and that stuff's already at PSA or whatever. And he sent some fire. David Miller sent some fire. You sent some fire. So
yeah, and prices are fair too, guys. Like they're way cheaper than, unless you have like your own PSA account and like you do PSA a lot. Like his prices are the cheapest I was able to find.
Yeah, like I charge $17 for anything ultra modern, which is 2021 to 2018, and anything from 17 down, unless it's stuff in the 60s, is $15. So the only thing that would be any type of cost would be just splitting some of the shipping or whatever, which I break that down as fair as possible, depending on what you're sending. So if you're sending one card, chances are I probably won't even charge anything on top of that other than your just return postage for your stuff. But if you're sending cards, like anything, like there's no minimums unless it's Pokemon or something like that, where I don't do a lot of that type of stuff. But you know, I'm going to be doing more express stuff too. So if you have any super high end stuff that you want back really quick, I'll be doing those as well. So,
yep. And we can do any type of card too. It doesn't matter if sport, you know, TCG, any of that stuff. You know, we can pretty much send any of them in for grading. And we'll give you the option, like we'll grade anything you want, but we'll definitely look them over real well just to make sure you're not going to send stuff in and, you know, come back with like 7s and 8s and stuff like that. But, you know, it could be a PC card that you just want in a slab. And, you know, we're totally cool pushing that stuff through if you want.
Yep.
But yeah, I normally, for me, sending stuff, I try to not send anything that I don't think can at least get a 9. So normally I try to pass that same courtesy on to anybody that would send stuff to me, or I know Nate does the same thing.
Yeah, just hit me up, Thrift Beast. I got you, man.
Yep, they can. Yeah, both companies, Chris, do patch cards and autos. I'm not sure what the rates are with PSA because, like I said, I just give Nate stuff and say, just give me a total. With GMA, it's still like their flat price, unless it's like they need to, like if it was a raw auto that, like, say you met Barry Bonds and he signed one of your cards and it's not authenticated, I think it's $20 for that, but it's still the flat amount for, you know, the same as it would be to grade this Josh Allen to be the same if it's like a Panini one that's already certified. Same with like mem cards, they're the same price as well.
Depending on how the condition of the card and the condition of the auto, like how they signed it, where they signed it, that type of stuff. Sometimes on autos, you just want to just grade the card because you know the auto is good because it came out of a pack or whatever. So it's not a question of, is this his real auto because it's, you know, from the card company or it's a sticker. Sometimes you could just send those in just as they are and not have to worry about it. But if it's something where, say, it's like a LeBron auto on a card that's not done by the manufacturer or whatever, or somebody like that. I know a lot of people, they'll get cards signed by the players like after they quit or whatever like that, or maybe you go to the game and they sign it. Then you would want to get both of those done because it's not like you're, you know, it's not a given that it's a full value auto or whatever.
Definitely. Yeah, PSA does a really good authentication for autographs. So you can't go wrong with anything PSA. I think, you know, barring like the biggest blunder that a grading company can have, I think they're going to stay the #1 company. Hey, see you, Paul, man. Have a good night and look forward to seeing the heat you bring to the auction. Paul's been ripping a ton of stuff on his channel, so I got a little bit of a sneak peek of some of the stuff he's going to be bringing. He's been getting some pretty nice cards.
I was hoping to find some stuff at Walmart, but no luck.
Dude, I would grade any KD auto. Yeah, I mean, that's big bucks right there, man. Especially once you factor in like where KD might be when it's all said and done. You know what I mean? Because now, like, granted, he's in a big three, but like this, in my opinion, this is his team. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm a Kyrie guy because he was a Cav, but in my opinion, like a championship in Brooklyn, like KD stepped out, like, hey, you know, I don't need the Golden State organization to win. Like, I'm going to go do my own thing. You know what I mean? I don't need to go form, you know, big three in LA or any of those things. I'm just going to kind of go and take my, you know, fate into my own hands, you know, and I think if he's able to win one or two championships there, you know, I think that's going to really make a good case for him as far as like one of the all-time greats. You know, just because I mean, efficiently and just the way he plays, like he already technically is like one of the all-time great players. He just doesn't have like that great championship pedigree, like, you know, say Kobe or Michael Jordan or LeBron or, you know, Magic or any of these other guys really have yet. He has two, and he has two Finals MVPs, but you know, I would like to see just like this, if Brady wins this Super Bowl, that's going to like really mean something because he stepped out of the New England system away from Bill Belichick. And it's like, okay, he really is, you know, the GOAT because he's able to get the same level of success in a completely different system with completely different teammates, you know, in a completely different organization. So I think that would do the same kind of legitimacy for Kevin Durant.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like being in Golden State, you know, it was a question of whose team that was, Steph's team, because he was there and he didn't like that. So that's why he went to Brooklyn. So he basically
both ways, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Dave knows probably more about baseball than anyone I know. He's definitely the guy I go to when I have baseball questions, him and Paul.
Yeah, anything. KD's, you know, if he wins one in Brooklyn, you know, it's going to be like shouting it from the mountaintops because that's his team. Even though they do probably have one of the biggest big threes ever, probably in the league's ever seen from a star perspective of those three on the court. Be interesting to see if they can do it this year. I think their best chance is next year, just for the fact they'll be able to set up their bench a lot better and everything else.
Yeah. I could still see them making some kind of a move before the deadline. I would, you know what I mean? I'd already be, you know, shopping future picks or whatever I needed to get some bench depth in there and a big man. Dude, if I was them, I would be beating down Kobe Altman's door trying to get Andre Drummond. You know what I mean? Like, could you imagine Drummond there? Like, that would be disgusting. Like Drummond with that big three.
Oh yeah.
And he's already having one of the best years of his career.
Honestly, I still can't believe they traded away Allen. Allen was the perfect center for that team.
Yep.
Like, defensive guy, doesn't need the ball all the time. He just, you know, happy to collect rebounds and win. You know what I mean? And that's what type of big man they need. They don't need any scoring or anything like that. But yeah, that's the one problem. Drummond is expensive. He's probably going to be one of the top free agents at the market, probably.
Dirk says Drummond is expensive. Yeah, from what I understand, though, there's some talks of him getting bought out. And if he gets bought out of his contract, then he would be able to go and sign with a team like reasonably cheap this year, you know, just to give them kind of like a friendly deal to like, you know, chase after a championship or whatever. So that very well could be the case where he gets his full like 26, 28 million, however much he's making this year, just completely paid off. And, you know, he gets to go to another team. And I want to cry about this, Michael. He says, what do you think about KPJ getting sent down to the G League? KPJ is like admittedly like my biggest mistake in sports card investing. And it's not because he's not talented or, you know, like I just saw something wrong. It's just because he can't stay out of trouble. You know, I think any like action or game time KPJ gets is good for his card prices. Surprisingly, his market hasn't fully tanked. So I think there's a lot of people out there like, okay, well, this guy got in trouble, but we know he's going to come back and his value is going to go up once he gets some good games under his belt. So, yeah, I don't know. It sucks they sent him down to the G League, but by the same point, like, at least get some reps under his belt. You know what I mean? Like, maybe it'll help his value a little bit. You know, it's better than him just sitting like on the Cavs bench doing nothing, you know? But I still think he was one of the very best young guys the Cavs had. You know what I mean? Like he had like full potential to like be one of the guys like leading the franchise, you know, if he was able to stay out of trouble. But yeah, just everything revolving around KPJ just has left a bad taste in my mouth.
Honestly, like you said, like seeing him at least on the court is a great sign because it means that the team, you know, that he's with has faith in him at least a little bit to see what, to kick the tires, see what type of guy he is. I think that's why they sent down the G League, so you can kind of just show him what they got against. It doesn't even matter the talent level. Just show me what you got. Show me that you can stay out of trouble for a month or whatever. And then I wouldn't be surprised to see him come back up and play on the regular team or whatever. And, you know, he hasn't played in a while. You know what I mean? Like the Cavs weren't in the bubble. So, you know what I mean? So they haven't played since, you know, last March. You know, so that's a long time to not play any like real basketball. And then he didn't play this year at all because of his legal, you know, having legal issues off the court. So, I mean, honestly, because of basketball prices and all prices of cards being higher than, you know, normal, or I shouldn't say normal. I'd say they've gone up more than normal, I would say. I think that's why these prices kind of stayed because, you know, the chance of him being $500 PSA 10 or whoever, you know, if he does come back and play well, there's still a possibility of that, as you guys see with a lot of different players that are rookies or second-year guys. So I know that, you know, I don't have anything of his graded, but if I did, I would hold and, you know, just hope for the best. And, you know, because he was a early buy, you know what I mean? You don't have like $500 sunk into one card. You might have 100 or 60 or whatever. So I wouldn't sweat it, honestly.
Yeah. The thing that sucks for me with KPJ is I bought a lot of his stuff like graded already. That's what kind of like hurt me. You know what I mean? If I would have bought it raw, even if I'd have sent it in for grading, you know, I wouldn't be in as much. I mean, even still, I'm not in as heavy as I could be. You know what I mean? Like I saw a ton of his stuff raw. Like you saw the stuff I sent you of Sexton and Garland.
Yeah.
I probably have double the amount of KPJ.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You were really high on him.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it I got out of like auctions and stuff like we do, though. So, you know what I mean? Or out of packs. So I didn't have a whole lot into him.
Oh, okay.
Like certain cards, like I went out and bought his like Hoops sweater, like ugly Christmas sweater, just because like I love those cards.
Yeah.
Michael, for KPJ, I'm holding him right now. Unless I can break even on him, I'll just let him go at this point. But yeah, I'm just gonna hold it. I'm gonna hold him for right now until like his value increases a little bit. Like I don't want to take a loss on him because at that I'll just throw him back in my Cavs PC. But yeah, I mean once his value comes back up to where like I would at least be getting out with still some skin, or you know he just completely tanks it, I'll just keep him.
As soon as he gets brought up to the regular, you know, back on the main team and plays, you know, half decent game of say 15 or 20 points, his prices will be above what you paid for him. So
yeah,
it just takes one game to really get that hype back. And you know, especially on that team where there's so many new pieces and new faces on that roster. I mean, honestly, probably off the team last year, they probably had like 4 guys that were on the team last year. Now that after all that happened, so with such a new team and such low expectations, but having players like Christian Wood playing good and Oladipo playing well, add a Kevin Porter Jr. Now you got another player who can score, who's athletic, who can do it all. So
yeah,
and
it makes sense that they'd want to put him through the G League, especially with him not having like very much basketball under his belt. You know what I mean? But here's the other thing too, like sending him to the G League could be good for him, like on a personal level too. You know what I mean? It could like humble him out a little bit.
Well, gut check time.
I'm not saying he needs to be humbled, but I mean, clearly, like his head's not in the place it needs to be. You know what I mean? Like, because he has an opportunity that like most people would kill to have. You know what I mean? To be an NBA player and live your dream and everything like that. You know what I mean? And Yeah, granted, he has personal issues, you know what I mean? Like, which no judgment there, you know what I mean? We all have personal issues, you know what I mean?
We all have demons or issues. Yeah.
But, you know, I just think getting him around the right type of people that are going to keep him accountable, and, you know, it's just like people that get in trouble. Like, what's the first thing they always tell you is people, places, and things. You know what I mean? Right. And like, so he's in a new place. You know what I mean? To my knowledge, he's not from Houston, so he's in a new environment. So that's at least a good thing. You know, so anybody that was a bad influence, you know, hooking him up with like drugs, guns, like all the stupid stuff he was doing, you know what I mean? So those people should be out of the equation, you know, unless he's one of them dudes that like supports his whole crew and like brings them everywhere with him. So they should be gone. So that's a big win in my opinion.
Yes. Their head coach down there, you know, his new head coach, you know, probably told him like, look, you need to do this, that, and the third, and then we'll bring you back. But like you said, it's a good gut check. It's not given to him that he's going to come in and start after what happened. You know what I mean? Make him earn his trust as teammates, because if you bring him in and then he has another issue pop up, he's going to be out of the league. You know what I mean? Yeah, so exactly. Make sure that all your, you know, everything that you think of him and everything is going to be good. Then you bring him around the team, and then, you know, he's able to contribute and be an awesome piece for them. You never know. They can make the playoffs. They could. Christian Wood's playing amazing basketball right now, guys. His rookie's hard to find.
I agree. They're definitely one of them outside teams that could definitely make a case for it. And they've had such a turnaround just since they got rid of Harden. You know what I mean? Just having that like distraction out of the locker room, like that's been great for both sides.
Got a lot of players playing for future contracts or future teams or whatever. You know, Wall hasn't played in a year or whatever. You got Cousins who hasn't played in 2 years. You have Christian Wood who's bounced around a couple different teams, and now, you know, after being with the Pistons and making free agency, getting paid a little bit, which in my opinion was a steal of a deal. I think it's $10 million contract, which is cheap for what he's putting up. There could be something down there. They might be just a piece or two away from really, really having that awesome collaboration.
Yep. Big shout out to my man Cation. Good to see you, man. He says we know Anthony likes to collect that DDB. What he means by that is Nate and I used to have a morning show called E-Column Beyond. That's what shirt I'm wearing. And one of our mascots for the show was this. Brown. And Nate likes to give me trouble for being a Cavs fan. But yeah, I have a playlist for anybody that be interested in checking out some of them old episodes. Talk a lot about eBay, Amazon, sports cards, that kind of stuff. And obviously Doo Brown.
Whenever we have these Saturday things, if you guys ever have any questions just on eBay, maybe because you're new to selling on there or whatever, we could definitely answer any questions like that too, because Anthony currently is selling a lot of stuff, you know, on eBay, not only cards but other things, and so have I. So you know, we're just here to help you guys pick good cards and possibly make the most money.
Mama does not miss the DDB. It's a mixed bag with that, I guess.
Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people, mommy used to say she used to get scared every time that popped up because it was so loud. I turned it down in later episodes.
Dave said it would have been scary walking around there with me and Cav stuff if I wasn't such a big guy. Yeah, I get sassed by like so many people for like liking Cleveland sports, and then when I'm in Cleveland, I get sassed for liking Pittsburgh sports. It's like I can't win for losing. So, but yeah, guys, I think we're gonna start to wrap up this live stream. But if you would, guys, do me a favor, go over and check out Nate's channel, because we're gonna be live there at 4 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for our weekly sports card auction. And we're going to have some pretty awesome stuff. I got a whole box full of slabs. If anyone's interested in graded cards, then I have a whole bunch of stuff. If there's anything you guys are interested in, you can feel free to leave a comment with what it is down below. And I'll make sure that Nate and Paul get that passed along to them too, so that they can try to put together some lots or pull those players or whatnot for tomorrow as well. But Nate, is there anything you want to share before we jump off here?
I'm just going to drop Sunday's auction in the chat real quick. I just put Sundays, and that's the link for the auction. I mean, just an awesome time to hang out, talk cards. I love it, and appreciate everyone for coming in and hanging out with us. And don't forget, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. And at noon tomorrow, I'm going to have a premiere all about eBay's new envelope shipping for sports cards. So anyone wants information on that, that'll be at noon Eastern, and we'll be there hanging out, probably talking cards. But I definitely appreciate you guys being here. This is Nate's link right here. So anybody could click that and go right to his channel, click subscribe, and hit that bell notification. That way you'll be notified when we go live and hopefully get some really good deals. But I appreciate y'all being here, and all of the really awesome, nice things you guys said. It means a lot to us.
Definitely.
We will see you guys tomorrow.
Later, guys.
Yeah, so real quick before we jump off, Spider Zach said, if we want to jump on the GMA submission with you guys, just DM. Yeah, you can just DM us. I have all of my information down below, but whatever's easier for you. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I'm everywhere, but I have like my entire links and everything in the description down below, or you can go to our Facebook group. We're both in there as well. So whatever's easiest for you. But yeah, if we get that submission over 100 cards, then the prices will drop for everybody, because I want to try to make sure we all get back cards as cheap as possible. So yeah, anyone that wants to get into that submission, just let me know. I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to ship it out on the 8th, which is 8 days from today. So, should be pretty awesome. Here's the Facebook group link too, guys. So if anyone is not a member there, feel free to go over there, and you guys can always post stuff that you have for sale or questions or like anything you have there as well. Got some pretty active guys in there too. So it's nice in that regard. But we'll see you guys tomorrow. May God bless, and I hope you guys all